Welcome to another Adobe Flash video tutorial. During this particular tutorial, you are going to learn how to create a new document and set it up so that we can start creating our file for our animated banner. We're going to go ahead and set up a new file as well as setting up our layers located down here at the bottom left. I'm going to go ahead and start a brand new document so you can see how we will get to this section here from scratch. So we're going to go ahead and go to File, and you're going to do File New. So you're going to create a new document. And this time you'll notice you have several options here as your options for the type of document you want to create. And we're going to go ahead and select ActionScript 3.0. Okay. You'll notice you do have some document options here on the right hand side which you could manipulate. However, I'm going to show you how you can get to these same options a different way once you've already created your actual document. So we're just going to select Actions 3.0 and then click on OK. So this is going to set up our stage by default. It goes to the default settings of what your stage would be. And of course it is currently untitled, and we should now at this point just have your original layer 1, which is it doesn't have anything titled or anything like that, and it defaults to only giving you one layer. Okay, so this is how you set up initially just a blank document. Now, typically when you're designing specific banners, it's likely that somebody's going to be giving you dimensions for what that banner needs to be. And so whenever somebody tells you, okay, I need this banner to be 30 pixels by 20 pixels, then you need to customize your stage to be exactly that. So you'd have to come up here to the very top and you would go to Modify, and then you go to Document. Okay, so again, it's Modify, then Document. From here, it takes you to this screen where you can then customize the dimensions of your document, as well as adjust the frame rate. As you see here, by default, the frame rate is 24 frames per second. You can actually adjust that here, as well as the background color of your stage, which is by default white. So let's go ahead and take a look. In the instructions that you're receiving, you'll notice that your dimensions are going to be 468 pixels by 60. So let's come back over and change this then to 468 by 60. The other thing you're going to notice is it's going to ask you to change your frame rate from 24 to 12. So let's go ahead and change that. And then all you have to do here is click on OK. You'll notice that our stage completely changed. It is now a lot smaller than what we had before. To increase this, remember you can always come up here and change the percentage right here up at the top right. You can always go to your toolbar menu and select this magnifying glass here to zoom in if you wanted to. And also, of course, your control plus or Command plus, depending on if you're on a Mac or PC, allows you to zoom in and out. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it here at this dimension. It's at 200, which allows me to be able to see my stage a little bit better. Next step that we're going to do is to set up our layers. You do need 3 different layers for what we're going to be working on here in this particular activity. So your 3 different layers, you actually go back to your activity steps. You will see under number 4 it will say set up your layers, and it's asking you to set up 3 different layers, one of which is background, then you're doing a shape, and then text. So let's go ahead and create those now. We're going to start by simply, because it gives us an automatic layer by default, we're going to go ahead and double click on this layer so that we can just go ahead and rename this. So we're going to call this one background. Then I hit enter, and it changes my layer name. Now to create another layer, you come down towards the bottom. You're going to click on the new layer icon, and it pops up layer 2. And notice that it put it above our background. So we're building these backwards. So whatever we built first is going to end up at the bottom of the layers. So let's go ahead and change this one to shapes. And then once again, create another layer. And then let's call this one text. And hit enter. And now all 3 layers have been created. So now we're ready to actually begin designing but you'll see how we'll do the design in the following tutorial. Before we leave though from this particular tutorial, don't forget that when you've made some changes, even just to your document and you haven't begun to design, you want to make sure that you do save your work. Notice we are currently untitled, and remember that this asterisk stands for the fact that you have not saved your document since you've made changes. So anytime you make a change to your document, it will put this little symbol here to remind you you need to save. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to zoom back out, and you're going to go to File, and you can just do a save or a save as, and then go ahead and title your file, and I'm going to call mine Animated Banner, and I'm going to call this one 2 just because I already have an animated banner, so I need to add a little 2 to distinguish the 2 there. So click on Save, and now your file is saved. So this is how easy it is to set up your document as well as your layers for this particular activity.